Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Charlene, and today, as you can see, we have our pumpkins lined up. Again, this is Grandpa Pumpkin and Hobie, my traveling pumpkins. Now today we will actually be working on their female companions. And as I said in other videos, we will not have a name for them yet until after we're done painting them. I already have them primed. I didn't like how they looked the first few times I tried. Now I did the same thing with Grandpa Pumpkin and Hobie. It's a little tricky to decide how you really want their design. Now to get started on this, you want to pick out the colors that you really want to use in your design. Now I have my palette from the painting, and of course you're going to have a few bits of dry paint in here. You can just have a little trash can. Now I'm going to take that thicker paint instead of the thinner paint. I'm not going to take the liquid white. Nope. I'm not taking that liquid white to this. So we actually want to always use a thicker white when we're going to be working with these acrylics, because the simple fact is you don't want to work with the liquid white with these. It's not going to hold. It's just not going to hold, just like I'm hoping that this white. Oh, okay. It's coming out now. Okay. Sometimes there's some technical difficulties with the paint tubes. Sometimes there is. I've had that happen before. Now, I've noticed that I accidentally opened so many tubes of bright red. And that's actually what it says on these, bright red. Well, this one says sunset, so that's a different color of the reds. This one's sunset. Maybe the other one's also sunset. No? Brilliant red. This is like this one. Brilliant red. Huh. Okay, and then I also have a sunset. But they're so close in color. You see what I mean? They are so close in color. This one's just like a digit off in color. And also, we have a yellow ochre. Now, I know that sounds so familiar to you, yellow ochre. I wonder what old guy used yellow ochre, right? And wisping those little clouds. Yellow ochre. Yes. We are going to use a little yellow ochre today. I don't have much left in this tube, but I have just enough yellow ochre left in this tube. My friend Rocco would be laughing because sometimes he'll catch me watching Bob Ross and he sees the stuff across the screen, the colors to take out. Yellow ochre. Yellow ochre is always one of those colors. And it's never far from the white. It's never far from the white. Now, I usually take a nice yellow color in case I want to brighten something up on it or tone it down, because you can do that with this along with the yellow ochre. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Don't ever be afraid to play with colors. Now, you would think this would have come out like super bright, like the label, right? No. Actually, it comes out darker than the label. Yes, it does. Now, you would think I'd be saying alizarin crimson. No. I also have a light brown here in case I want to use it. Now, if I wanted to do a skin tone texture like what I did on Hobie's nose and the little streak right here on his chin, and I did a few for the line on his cheeks, I still have that, so I can do that if I want. I'm going to take a little light brown, which is kind of, to me, almost like a brick color. So I'm going to put that in there. And I am going to lay a little bit of the orange and the red out on my palette. in case I feel the need to use it. I'm not going to put that much on there. You guys can probably see right now where I have, I'll turn it the other way, that might help, right? Where I have the white, yellow tones, okay, and that's supposed to be a light brown, but to me that is a brick color. It's a brick house. Now, if you watched yesterday's video of the crab cakes, I'm seriously trying to put a little humor into my videos. So if you watched yesterday's video and you got a laugh out of that, I'm glad you did. I did that part just to make people's day a little bit better. Just a little bit better. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Right? Right. So, now, what I do is, this is actually a very hot, steamy hot water in that, okay? Because that is exactly what we want to use, is a steamy hot water. I have my paint palette right here. I have my brushes, as always, right here. And the only color I haven't put in here yet, because the tube of the black paint is magically right here. Although I do have several different tubes of black paint. The shades of black paint come in different shades. It's like tattoo ink comes in different shades of that color, including black. Including black. Yes, including black. Yes, including black. Exactly, including black. So, and I really am enjoying this particular brand of the black paint because it's nice and thick. Excuse me. My coffee's talking. I had some coffee earlier. My coffee's talking. I didn't drink it all, but my coffee's talking. So excuse us. So in that same spot where I had it before is where I'm going to put it now. I'm not going to need too much of it. Now, what I would like people to do is, if you would like to see and ask my friends on Facebook. Yes, that's a social media that I use. No, can you get onto it? I'll have to set up a different platform for that and for my Instagram so that it's set up just for my YouTube people, if that's okay with you guys, because my personal stuff is, well, that's my personal stuff, you know what I mean. Now, the brushes I'll be taking out is, of course, this one. This is one of my favorites, always will be. That's until I get a fan brush, of course. But this actually is one of my favorite brushes. I love it. I can do all sorts of different design work with this brush. And of course, I will be taking out this brush. Why the heck it keeps trying to go hard on me after I washed it and then dried it out. You guys saw how I dried it out last time, you know. Bless the crap drying it. And of course, I have all of my other paint brushes in here. Sorry for that label. But you know, I have all of my other paint brushes in here. I'm recycling. There's nothing wrong with that label. Maybe I'll just have to take the label off soon, right? So I'll just put my paint brushes right here. Screw it. I drank that coffee. And guess what, guys? I actually found my old paint rig. My old paint rig. Can you tell? Can you tell? That's a painting by itself. So I'm going to be using my old paint rig. The back of it isn't so bad. I mean, it looks bad on the camera, but it's actually not that bad. It's the lighting that makes it look bad. So we're going to dip that brush in the water. We don't want this too dry because we're working with ceramic, and I got to get that brush work anyway. You guys do know that I worked this brush dry, fluffy. Just let me fluff those edges of the brush. If you guys want to know, I'm wearing double braces today for my back. Since I have deterioration of the disc, sometimes I have to wear double braces on my back. I have to compress it. But actually, I'm not ashamed to say that there are a lot of us on YouTube that have problems with our health, and I'm not ashamed to say it. One day I'll end up back in a wheelchair, but it's not going to stop me from teaching you. Right? It's not going to stop me. There we go. Fluffy, fluffy paintbrush. Oh, see, this is actually a synthetic, and that might be why. Sometimes synthetic brushes can be a pain. So, first thing we're going to do here, put her back for a moment. First thing we're going to do here, because I'm going to show you this, we can take a little bit of this white, just take it off in a little area where we can mix some paint. Okay, take that off just right over here. Not where we mix the old paint, but just right over here, okay? Now we are going to take that light brown, okay? And then we're going to pick up that yellow. And you're like, why are we doing this? Because you're going to get a certain color. And I'm going to show you this color. And you're going to be like, wow, okay, now I get it. Now we're going to pick up the certain color. Okay, you get that color. But don't mind the white being on there. That white will blend in a moment. It certainly will, because we pick up a little more of that brick brown. That's what I'm going to call it, brick brown. Brick brown. That should be its name. Brick brown. Do I actually want to put that on the grandma? No. I want to put it on the baby. I don't know. Hobie's about that color. And I've had to put several coats over them before to get a certain color out. And this is actually true. You would think, oh my gosh, that's too light. No, actually, the other paint will show through. And you know what I forgot to do? Because I'm trying to talk to you guys, and I'm really, really hoping that you can hear me really good. So give me one moment to make sure that you can hear me good. Now that you see that I have a microphone right here, I hope you can hear me better. That was a technical difficulty before, and I'm hoping, excuse me, allergy season. That was a problem that I seem to have been having, and I almost forgot to do this, so glad I remembered. Yes, I'm able to pick things up like that. I have weird fingers. So I'll clean off that brush a little because I had to just like grab my microphone so that you guys can hear me better for the videos, and hopefully this will help. Maybe, who knows, maybe I'll get a little more of an audience. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And you can pick up a little more of that brick brown, and now I'm going to show you that. Pick up a little more of that brick brown and just run it in there. But, you know, go ahead and put that layer, that lighter layer in there. Just go ahead and work that in there, because when you do, then we're going to layer in the brick brown with that. See that? And just don't go over the stem part, because you want to leave that dark. I leave that dark for a reason. Now, I had already painted that, but leave that dark for a reason, for a good reason. There is a good reason to leave that dark, and I'll show you guys that as we go along. So, and it's okay to go over her eyes. I've already done that. Go ahead and go over her eyes. I'll show you that in a moment when I come right back. Okay, as you can see, and yes, I do have my finger inside. There are little holes underneath. You can put your hand inside. I don't really care if I get paint on my hand. I really don't. It washes off. It washes off. So, yes. As you can see, she's painted all the way around. If you miss a little spot, just go over it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No big deal. And now, I'll rinse that brush just a little bit, not too much. And then what I'm going to pick up, you guys are thinking, okay, she's just going to go back into that brick color. Now, I will be going back into the brick, picking up a little bit more of that over to the white, right? Okay, yes, just a little more. Pick up a little orange. Pick up a little bit of that other yellow color. Mix that in there together. You guys are probably thinking I'm mixing mud. I'm not mixing mud. I'm just making a distinctive color for distinction. See that? That is a nice color to use. And her little cheekies. Her little cheekies. You see that? Just right there on her little cheeky. She's cheeky now, isn't she? You'll have to excuse me. Sorry about that. That was just my doctor's office telling me they don't have any appointments available for my neurologist. Yay, what good does that do when you have epilepsy? Oh well, back to this and let's make our day cherry. Oh, I can make fun of those people. As you can see, that actually brightens her cheeks because we want her to have little bright cheeks. She's a little girl. Little girls have little bright cheeks, you know. They have little bright cheeks. A little bright nose. You know, and her nose got some sunshine on it. She was in that part of the pumpkin patch that got her nose all sunshiny and her little cheeks. Isn't that cute so far? That's cute, isn't it? See, pumpkins don't have to look scary. They can look cute. They can look cute. A lot of people, you know, like thinking, oh, it's a pumpkin, you got to make it scary. Oh, you don't have to make a pumpkin look scary. Now take a little bit of that orange in the spot where you have it. Take a little bit of that brick color. Mix those together. Just take a little bit of that. Just take them. You're going to try to mix them equally. And you're going to come up with a whole other color right there. And then we're going to take that and sweep it. Just sweep it. And if it looks kind of like a gritty kind of wood green color, you know, some pumpkins have that look to them, like they're kind of a wood green. I forgot I have a microphone on. I'm thinking, do I have to speak louder? I forgot I have my microphone on. You'll have to forgive me for that. So yes, make sure that you have that mixed. Even if you have to remix a little bit of it, you know, take it on her face over the other color, because that other color, the other two colors I should say, will actually highlight, as you can see underneath that. And then when she completely dries, because acrylic paints on ceramics dry rather quickly. They dry rather quickly, Now you're probably thinking, why didn't I take my snare drum stand and just, use that with this? Well, because you actually want to hold these, because this will go wonky on that because it doesn't hold it straight. I already tried as a little test off camera. I already tried that. And if you saw like my test videos before I deleted them, I did those on purpose just to test a few things. Because I really and truly needed to. So yeah. Just see that? Like, she'll almost turn the same color as Hobie. Almost. Not quite, but almost. When she dries. So, that could be her cousin as far as you know. And that could be Hobie's auntie. Auntie Beatrice. There you go. That's her name. Auntie Beatrice. In the tribes, there's always an Auntie Beatrice. She'll tell you things. She will tell you things. You may not want to hear it. It's funny. It is funny. You will always find an Auntie Beatrice at a powwow. Now, when my sons were in Head Start, oh my God, now I'm starting to sound old. I'm not that old. I had my children when I was young. I was in my 20s. But my kids were in Head Start, well, especially my oldest son. And one of the Head Start teachers, well, actually two of them, they came from the reservation, the Umatilla Reservation. Not the Mission Reservation is what it's called. But they're really cool people. I loved working with them. Just awesome people to work with. And when they couldn't figure out how I got this one kid to talk, kid didn't talk to anybody at all, not the teacher. So it's like, kid came up to me and he asked me a question. They're like, what? That kid doesn't talk to anybody. How'd you get him to talk? What else can you get these kids to do? I'm like, I don't know. So I took the kid out on the playground. They're like, what kind of magic are you working on this kid? Now you got him playing with other kids. What else can you get this kid to do? I'm like, well, when we go inside to feed them lunch, let's see if I can get this kid to eat, because the kid would never eat, right? He'd pick at his plate. I'd be like, okay, Justin, you have to try a little bit of everything on your plate today, just a little bit. So I put it just like a little quarter size of everything on his plate. And I'm like, you have to take a bite of everything. And if you like it, we'll hand you more. And there was this one really rude girl at the table, though. I told her that Justin wanted more milk. So she poured the rest of the milk in her cup and drank it on purpose. And I'm like, excuse you, that wasn't for you, that was for Justin. She was like, and I'm like, now you have to get up and go get Justin some more milk. I'm like, you know the rules? Some of those kids were brats. It's not a tumor. But some of those kids were brats. Oh my gosh, we had one little girl. She would curse like crazy. So I went into her mom's work, and her mom was the reason why she was cursing. I was like, look, you don't talk to me like that, and I could really give a rat's ass what you think. I'm like, you shouldn't be teaching your kid to talk like that. Like, she's not an adult. Well, she's going to be someday. She might as well learn now. No. Teaching starts at home, and teach your kid how to respect others. That's what's important. Teaching respect. It's the honorable thing. Teaching respect. If you don't teach respect, you're not respectful yourself. But I've got that brush clean. It's basically the two brushes that we'll be using today anyway on both pumpkins. You see how I've got those colors around her, and you see how that totally changed? That totally changed the color. And then I can get that brush wet. Silly me. Silly me. And I'm going to take it into that yellow ochre. Yellow ochre. Yes. Then I'm going to take that yellow ochre and just streak it down. Just streak that down. Just streak it down. Find a little spot where you haven't done anything and just streak that yellow ochre down. Back into the yellow ochre. Streak it down because you're doing little individual streaks here. Maybe you have enough on the paintbrush for a couple of them. Maybe you have enough on your paintbrush for one. She got a bigger spot right there. Maybe you found a little spot in here where she has like, you're thinking, hey, maybe she has that little divot spot right there. And you just want to do that. See that? See how that just changes the whole look? And then when this dries, once we get the whole thing done, my goodness, I sound like Bob Ross today. But you know what? I don't mind. I don't mind. A little quiet peacefulness. That's a good thing. That's always a good thing. Back into that yellow ochre. That's why I put a lot of yellow ochre on my palette. Right down that little line. Right down that little line. Yep, right down there. I'll put a little on her nose, huh? She got a little extra sunshine today, huh? There you go. She got a little extra sunshine today. That's why that yellow ochre is right there. She got a little extra sunshine today. See that? That yellow ochre just makes her nose look shiny. Just a little extra sunshine. You're like, why aren't you getting to the eyes yet? Why aren't you getting to those eyes? Well, I'll get to her eyes in a moment. I will. I gotta clean my brush though. I will get to her eyes. You can go into the eyes right away, but you know you have all those coats of paint to put in there. Make her look the way you want. Go on her brows. Now I actually want to grab that brick color, and I'll show you that in a moment. Okay, I got some more of that brick color in my palette. Put a little more of that in there. I underestimated how much of that did I really need. You know, that brick color is actually what Hobie is. He's a combination of the orange and the brick and some other colors. You know, like the red. And yeah, I really did a good underlay on him before adding in the brick tone. But on Grandpa Pumpkin and Hobie, I actually did, and I did that on these two as well. I actually laid a nice thick coat of white. Let that dry really good. Just really good as an underbase on them. And yes, you can take this liner brush and just do that on the individual parts of the pumpkins. You can also just take a filbert brush and do the same thing. It doesn't really matter. This is thick. It's just as thick as a filbert. guys are like, which one's a filbert brush? I'll show you. Filbert, which really needs cleaning, but that's a filbert brush. See, she's a little bit tanner. She's a little bit tanner. Oh my gosh. I have that thought in my head about my neurologist's office calling and say they just got the message that I called 2 weeks ago. Almost 3 weeks. Almost 3 weeks ago. I'm having a seizure in my doctor's office. They just now got to me. Are you kidding me? Aren't that backed up? Sometimes I wonder. Sometimes I wonder. But you know what, though? That's why I do my artwork. Keep myself calm. Keep myself calm. That's what keeps those seizures down. Keep yourself calm. At all times. You're going to think, okay, she went over those cheeks with that color. But there's a trick to that. I'm going to go right back over it with, and this is what we're going to do. You take the yellow ochre, okay? Take that yellow ochre and the white. Take the yellow ochre, and why did my white start to dry out already? Shouldn't be drying out. Okay. Blend that together really nice. Really, really nice. Give her cheeks a little sunshine. I'm going to show you that. As soon as I rinse my brush, dab it just a smidge, we're going to go back over it with a wet brush. Over this with the wet brush, and her cheeks are back to being Little Miss Sunshine. Little Miss Sunshiny cheeks. See that? And if you get a little bit down here, don't worry about that. You can fix that. Just go along her cheeks and fill them in. Just fill her cheeks in. Just fill them in like that. Catch that little sunshine right back up on her nose. There we go. There we go. And like I said, this dries quickly. The acrylics dry quickly on the ceramics. Don't worry about that. Just don't worry about that. That is something so fantastic in the world of art that you never really have to worry about. Now you see where I accidentally went off a little bit right here. That's easily fixable. Just go right back over it with that brick color, and she's fixed right there. She's fixed right there, and it is all good. It is all good. Right? Okay. Now this is when we're going to go into her eyes. Her eyes, yes. We're like, oh my gosh, we're finally getting to her eyes. Now, this is what I do. Like with Grandpa Pumpkin and Hobie. Now, they always say stay in the lines, right? I'm not staying in the line. You see Hobie? You see Hobie, and then you see, maybe that's his cousin. That's his cousin, because you see, Hobie is a loner. That's his cousin. And Auntie Beatrice brought over Hobie's cousin, because Hobie needed to stop being such a loner. So Auntie Beatrice brought over his cousin. make up the little stories about this. That'll make it fun. Oh my gosh, no, I do not like it. I'm just painting those little eyes. Just paint them in. Can I do this like this? Oh, heck yes, I can. I used to draw things upside down. In the first coat in, it's going to look a little kind of metallic-y when you do it. She might look a bit gothic at first. But it's okay. It is okay. Because you're going to fill in the eyes. But you want to do it a certain way. You want to make sure that your paint is thick enough. I almost had a brain fart. Sorry, guys. And then I keep forgetting that I'm wearing a microphone. I'm like, do I have to speak louder? No. It's nice to not have to speak louder now. Okay, then we'll let that eye dry. The eyes have it. The eyes have it. And then we'll just paint in your other eye. And like I said, this isn't going to take too long to dry. So as soon as I'm finished with that, we'll go on to the next step. Now, while we're letting her eyes dry, yes, we have to let that dry really thoroughly. So while we're letting that dry, we're actually going to move on to the other pumpkin. I mean, that's not really going to take long to dry in the first place, but I did put a couple of other coats over that, as you can see, because they are shining in the light. Like I said, I'm just going to put a little humor into my videos, but we will end up, I mean, I could go ahead on the drier part and put in some other detail, but I want to make sure I don't touch the eye area on her at all when I go to do the detail. Because like the brow area on Hobie, see how she's dark, but she's not as dark as Hobie. Okay. So you have to be really careful when you're working around the eye area so that you don't accidentally pick that up. That's why I'm going to let her eyes dry. Okay. And we will move on to the other one while she dries. So we'll put her right there so they can watch her dry, and we will move Hobie. We will move Hobie. He can check her out. Say, hey, you dry yet? No. Grandpa Pumpkin and Hobie can be sitting there chilling with her. Anyway, get this brush wet again. We already know it's not stiff. Nope, it's not stiff. I just tested that. Oh. And again, we can take that brick orange, okay, get back up here, take it back up there, and since I have plenty of it in here, and as you notice this time I did not add in the orangey orange because we can turn her a whole different color. Like I said, not all tribes people have the same skin tone. This is an actual factual. Just like with all nationalities, there's darker tones, there's lighter tones. Depends on the region you're from. Really does. Oops, actually picked up that just the brown. Sorry about that. Wow. She's a brick house. She is now. Go back into that and try to correct it a little bit. Oops, it's really my bad. But that can be corrected. Absolutely, that can be corrected. Pick up a little more of the brick and go back in and correct. See, you can always correct. Maybe it was a happy accident. I really sound like him. It was a happy accident. Maybe that part of her didn't catch as much sun. You know what I mean? Maybe that part of her didn't catch as much sun. We'll go back in with that brick anyway. She's a brick house. But we're going to brighten her up. Auntie Beatrice is always the brightest person. Yeah, there you go. See, that's sticking. Auntie Beatrice. This is Auntie Beatrice. We just have to figure out the name for the little one now. This one's Auntie Beatrice. Actually, I might think of a better name for her instead of Auntie Beatrice. So that's too colonial. It is. It's too. That's too colonial. I will think of a better name than Auntie Beatrice. That's just a joke. It's too colonial for a native. No offense to anybody, but she's indigenous. And we can take just a little bit of that gold color. Now I know I washed all that off. Mix it a little bit. Take that. Wash it off, because I know I washed it all off. But it doesn't want to come off of my brush. Well, it should now. That brick color is wanting to stay on my brush. No, you cannot. Not allowed. Most of it came off. Okay. Yeah, the way I want to work some paint right now, that brick color would seriously be a pain in the keister. Yes, I did pick up a little water to put on that. So it's like, yeah, okay, now you see how I have it kind of a gold color in the palette, right? Yeah, okay. We're going to pick that up and make her a little brickish gold. Just pick that up and just wisp it over her. Just be wispy, just be wispy. Just wisp it on over. Just wisp it. Just be wispy with it. Just wisp that on over. And you're like, oh my gosh, after you put all that layers on, there's a reason why I'm doing this. There is. You'll see. There is. And I'll show you that. I'll show you guys that. There's a reason why. Because, I'm continuing to pick up water on my brush. And we're just going to wisp and wisp and wisp. I'm going to wisp this golden color onto her for a good reason. for a very good reason. Because you know what? She sat near another vegetable for too long and conversated with them, and maybe she kind of felt like one of them, you know? She blended in. She blended in with the other vegetables that day, huh? But we're going to put a little more of the brick color over it. And of course, we will end up adding, of course, the yellow ochre. So just be, wispy with this. I really want you to be wispy with that brick color now. Just be wispy with it. We're going to just blend this kind of wispy for a reason, because we want her pumpkin tone to be completely different. She is an individual. She is individual, just like everybody. We are individuals, aren't we? And that's what makes us who we are. We are just individual people. Now you see how those colors kind of come together? I know she's shiny. I know she's shiny, but you can see how the hue of the gold color comes through the brick color, right? Yeah, especially if the light catches right there. You can see the gold color come through the brick, okay? And like when the light hits it just right there, you can see it. And it's time to start some of her other details. So get this brush washed and switch over to the other brush and start her other details, which of course will be yellow ochre, a little bit on her cheeks, just a wee bit on her cheeks, just in certain areas. Let's pick back up on that gold. Gonna pick back up on that gold hint. Maybe she's in her golden years, right? She's got that little gold to her cheeks because she's just that sparkly person. She is that sparkly one. She's a sparkling in your day. And you like being around her because she's just so positive. She's your aspect in your day that just like makes you want to smile. Just makes you want to smile. She's just that person that makes everybody smile and laugh. She's the one that's in the kitchen. She's the one that's in the kitchen cooking up that good fry bread. Oh yeah. Has some bison going on the stove. Oh yeah. Making that bread and that bison. Some good food there with some potatoes. That's the person she is. You're thinking, okay, you're talking about yourself. Maybe. I am that person. I'm the person that would have the bison going on the stove with some fry bread. No offense. Some pumpkin. But I would also have, and later on recipes we'll also be working with some sweet potatoes and be making like things with sweet potatoes and parsnips and all sorts of good healthy things. So also, let's see, we're going to add in, because this is going to blendy. I'm not going to get that wet. We're going to get that wet. I need to get that white color wet again. It's going dry on me for some stupid reason. But we're just going to take that into her little creases. And just wisp them. And then we're going to go right back over them anyway. With another color. Just take those right down in her creases. They're not butt cracks, they're creases. Remember, we're positive people on this channel. Take those right down in her creases. Just make sure you get them right in there. Right in there. Like I said, I love the little ceramic shop that I get my ceramics from. We're going to go right back into that yellow ochre. Just go right back in there. Keep that brush wet as you can. Going back into that yellow ochres. When you need to, pick it back up. And just right down in there. Okay, now I really did do it, Bob Ross. Right down in there. See that? Just right down in there. Right down in there. You want to make sure you have that in there. She's such a cool individual. She's such a cool individual that it doesn't matter if she has all that. Doesn't matter if she has all that on her, because we're going to take that and blend it. We're going to take that and blend it. I'm going to take all that and blend it. And I'm going to switch up to my other brush to blend that. Get that a little wet. Take that brick and blend some of it, because some of it's a little too bright. Some of that's a little too bright. And you're just going to blend some of that. See that? You're just going to blend some of that. But you're still able to see it. Still able to see that contrast right through. See? You're still able to see that right through. Right through. But it gives her such an individual look from anybody else's artwork. Like, you see all these things out there, but you're like, I want something different, and I wish I could do this. You can really do this. Oh my gosh, I really am something like him. Everybody can do this. Don't ever think you can't do something. Inspire yourself to do it. Never say no. Always say yes. You don't have to be a yes man to do it, but you can tell yourself, yes, I can do this. Inspire yourself. Be your own inspiration. Some people say, oh, you're my inspiration. Okay, well, if I inspired you in your day, hey, that's great. I'm happy I can do that for you. It's a great thing if I can be an inspiration in your day, bring a little joy to your life by showing you some artwork, maybe some cooking. See, look, just bring a little more brightness. And then, yes, we will go on to her eyes. And then we will go back to the smaller pumpkin, because you know we got to pick up this brush, get the black on there for her eyes. Yes, we do. Because, yeah, see, look, touched her little eye, it's dry. Touch her little eye, it's dry. Now we'll go in, we'll do her eyes. And This time I'm actually, see, like with Grandpa Pumpkin, I actually painted the bag under his eye. She's a lady. She is a lady. Now I know with the younger one, okay, I painted in the whole part. Okay, she's young. She's still growing. She's still growing. Young ones are still growing. Young ones are still growing. Okay, pick that back up. If you have to just do what I'm doing, is like kind of dot it in before you smooth it out. Do it. Just do it. You see that? Da, 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 da. The eyes have it again. Now what I can do, if I really want to make her eyes a little bit bigger, just a little bit bigger, and I can do this, I have enough paint on my brush, a little bit down there, a little bit bigger, is just take it right up here, and just out, just take that up, that, just like that. Just try to make sure that you get your paint smooth as possible, just as smooth as possible. Wash my brush. Put in a second layer of the black paint. Let me know if the sound quality today is better than usual. That helps to know. That helps to know. I need to know if the microphone is helping at all today. I really do. So if the microphone really helped with the quality of the sound today, it's good to know. Now you see, I'm going to let her eyes dry. So I'll wash my brush. And just give me a moment. Okay, now that we're back with her, we can start some detail. As you can see, I have her over here with Grandpa Pumpkin and Hobie, just chillaxing. Now, I put a little extra white in the paint palette because that other white was just drying out too quick. That is not right. So, anyway, all the other colors are still nice and wet and are still really usable for being able to do individual designs like what I've done on Grandpa Pumpkin and Hobie. You know, it's like you look at her and you figure, okay, now how do we want to do these individual design on her face? And go ahead and just roll your brush and get that fine tip on it. I have to remember which way I take this. I forget. My camera's not at that end. My camera's at this end. That helps. Anyway, just get that fine tip on your brush. You have to figure out which paint do we want to go with first on her, and where do we want to start working it? Because you see, Grandpa Pumpkin and Hobie are not painted on their backside, only their faces. Only their faces, because these are traveling pumpkins. They go places, and I might find a little case later on for them, or I might make a case later on for them for the traveling pumpkin. So what I'm looking at here on my palette is the white as an undercoat for some things, which is kind of obvious for a few things, because I'm not going to copy Hobie. This is actually for sure. I'm not going to copy Hobie, but we do need to enhance her brows. That is something that needs to be done. Her brows need to be enhanced. Just right there. Just take your paintbrush. If you didn't see that, just take the paintbrush and just go. There you go. She's not an angry little pumpkin. She's a happy little pumpkin. So we're not done with her brows yet. She doesn't pluck her brows. She's too young for that. She doesn't know which way her brows are going yet until we're finished with her. But she's just a happy little pumpkin. Just a happy little pumpkin. See that? Just like that, just like that, and that changes the expression on her face, doesn't it? It just changes the expression on her face, just ever so slightly, but it just keeps her looking happy, because you want a happy pumpkin. And like I said, we're not going to copy Hobie. We can look at Grandpa Pumpkin. Do we want her to have some of his stuff along with some of Hobie's stuff so we can mix and match? Do we want to do other designs with her? What do we want to do? Because like I said, she's a little girl, but also little girls have eyelashes. Oh, little girls have eyelashes. Little girls have eyelashes. I gotta get this one hair on my brush to behave. Sometimes the hair's on your brush. I like misbehaved children. Sometimes you gotta get those hairs to behave. Like I said, she's a little girl. We give her eyelashes. Just give her some little eyelashes. Just like that. Just like that. And it's still, her expression is there. She is happy. And we just do that on the other side. And 4, because we have 4 here, we get 4 there. If they're not perfect, you just go right in and fix them. See? It's just as easy as that. Just as easy as that. I'm deciding she has perfect little enhance, little brightness to her face right here. Right here. And right there, that's actually going to bring out some of the yellow tone underneath, make it look kind of shimmery. Make that look kind of shimmery. She's just a shiny little girl. See? Just a shiny little thing. And got to figure out, how do we want the rest of her face? And you know, I'm looking at Grandpa Pumpkin's face, and I'm thinking about taking some of his design for her face, for right here around the mouth. You got to remember, they're tribal. So some relatives of the tribes will use the same markings, or they will use part of the same markings and use them with their own individual style. So you see, let me show you that. You know, I'll probably end up with some paint in my hair. See where Grandpa Pumpkin has that there? She has it. Back to my paintbrush. So, yes, take some of Grandpa Pumpkin's style and work it into hers. Not necessarily up here if I don't want to, but around the facial area here, which can always be good. Because like I said, some tribal members, you know, family, they will use each other's designs. And they're okay with it because, hey, you're family. You're allowed. You're allowed. And at powwows, you will actually see, like, people that aren't actually of the same tribe using the same patterns in their regalia. But you know what, though? Everybody at the powwows get along pretty darn much. Because a lot of them, they have particular people make their regalia. And the regalia is just beautiful. Just beautiful. Some people have had their regalia passed down through the centuries, through their tribes, from family member to family member, and it gets repaired and reused for powwows. It's unfortunate some people will follow the members from the powwows, follow their vehicles, break into them, and take their regalia, which is either from their family members or it's taken them years or months to make. It's a shame. Because it's an art, it's a skill. You have to know how to do the buck hide a certain way, cut it, sew it. You know, it's a tradition. And now we're going to paint like just right under her eye. Right here. Now remember, this white is basically a base coat for most of this. Okay? You have to remember that this white is basically a base coat for most of this. So just right under her little eye. Just right under her little eye. Isn't that just getting adorable? Just as adorable as Hobie. Just as adorable. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is give her the, well, I just gave her the same little dotted specks like what Grandpa Pumpkin has. Now, Hobie has some of them, but not in the same arrangement as Grandpa Pumpkin. Now, like I said, only some. And because this is a little girl, you're probably thinking, well, this is a girl. Should you do something girly? That's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm actually doing something girly. Little girly design at the side. But you didn't see that coming. I'm going to do a little girly design at the side here. And just bring that up only to a certain point. Only going to bring that up to a certain point on her head. And that will be it. It's only going to go up on the side. That is it. Because you don't want to have too much there that'll like be like overkill on the whole design concept. And if you feel there's too much water in your brush, go back in, because I got too much water in my brush just like right there, and it's like trying to mess up this design. Go back in with your brush, dry your brush, go back in, try to take that water out, take a little thick paint in without the wet brush, and then without the wet brush, just take a dry brush into the paint, and you know what that'll do? You see that right there? It takes that water right out. Takes that water right out of it. But you see, she has a little flower on the side. Just a little flower. Just a little flower. That's all she needed. She's a little girl. She can have that. Get that white line right back up the middle. Just the middle of her face right there. So we aren't done with her yet. So she has other colors to go in. I will put the little dots in her eyes as soon as, because you see how Grandpa Pumpkin and Hobie actually have eyeballs? We can't leave that out. Now can we? We can't leave that out. We actually have to give her eyeballs. So that's why we dot in the white over that part of the black. Have to dot in that white. We have to dot that in, you see? Soon she'll be able to see. Right now it's like she has a cataract. So we'll paint the eye in. If you don't get a perfect circle, hey, nothing's perfect. Nothing is perfect. Have you ever really looked at people's eyes? Like, that is not a perfect circle, people. Some people's eyes, the retina is not actually a perfect circle all the time. So don't worry about it. Do not worry about it. Like, oh, she has the little eyes starting. Yeah. So I'm going to do the little flower design over here. And then I'm going to let her eyes dry. Put her back over there. And then we're going to start back on the other pumpkin as soon as we come back to that. Okay. Now that we have her back, and you can see she's back over there chilling, waiting to dry. Let's dry this brush because I had to. I just got done with the other side floral part of her head. Yeah, so both parts of that are done. That's why I put her up there to dry. And now we will go on to her. As you can see, like I said, look, she's all dry. And see how much darker she is? All the contrast and everything. So see, that came out really cool. And now we will start on what do we want for her designs. And like I said, the white is the undercoat. And what do we want to do? What do we want to do? Well, she is related to Grandpa Pumpkin, which is obvious by the shape of their faces. So they almost have that same brow. Almost. Hers is a bit more femme. Hers is a bit more femme. as you can see, hers is a bit more femme. So yeah, we're just going to take these along. Okay, making sure I get the right count. There's 5 on the other side, not 4. I was thinking 4. I have no idea why, but okay. She's got her brows done. And I want to wash that brush again. Roll it because we want that tip of the brush. We really do. We want the tip of the brush. What do we want to do here? Mixture between. Ooh, I have a good design for her. You guys are going to like this. Mixture between. We're going to take her paint like this. Hey, look, she has a really cool eyeliner. Right? Now remember, that's just the undercoat of the other paint that we will use. And just use the tip of that brush and real careful. So what you're doing is you're just going along the little puffy part of her eye. We all sometimes wake up that puffy part around our eye, and then we want to cover it up and hide it from the world. Well, I just covered up the puffy parts of her eye. I just covered that up from the world. And now she's happier. See that? Also changed her expression. And what do we want to do here for her is we're going to take really a combination. And before I do anything else, let's go ahead and this is what I should have with the smaller one so that we could have just continued with her. Let's go ahead and these little eyeballs already put in here. Quickly just get that done. I'm kind of a perfectionist when I do stuff like this, so you'll have to excuse that. I don't know why. I've always kind of been that way, I guess. When it comes down to artwork. Said in other videos, I have never drawn a stick figure. When I was a little kid, I never drew stick figures. I drew the actual form of the human body. 6th graders were like, wait, what grade are you in? Shouldn't you be drawing stick figures? And I'm like, what's a stick figure? And they were drawing stick figures. And I'm like, no, you should be drawing like this. And then I would draw the clothes, and they're like, wait, huh? They're like, you're younger than us, and you can draw like that? I'm like, then I would draw animals for them, and they're like, huh? Yeah. The 6th graders were pretty impressed that a 1st grader could draw better than them. Yeah, pretty impressed. Now, what we're going to do is you see the little line on Hobie's chin. Yay, right? That's going on her face. Just right there. Remember when we did that earlier? Just take that line and go up. Just take that line and go up. Or in this case, now that I've reversed it, take it and there you go. There you go. You were like, well, why didn't you do that on the upper lip? Well, I'm not doing that on the upper lip. I'm just not doing it. Now see, Hobie doesn't have that part under the cheek. And like I said, I'm going to do a mixture between. I have to excuse the noise from my neighbor upstairs. I hope that's not getting too much caught up in the microphone for you guys. Let's see. She's got such good cheeks. Such good cheeks. Such good cheeks. Yes, she does. She has such good cheeks. She has great cheeks. Great cheeks to work with. Yes, she does. I know this is going to seem like a long video today. It doesn't matter. If you didn't have anything to do in your day, hey. Or if you were bored. No, this I'm not doing out of boredom. I'm doing this to teach you. I am doing this to teach you today. Yes, I am. Let's see. What else do I want to take off the combination of both of them? Well, you know, we also have to give this lady her eyelashes. The wrinkles are going down, but I'm going to lift hers up. Look, I'm giving her a facelift. They're trying to make her wrinkles go down. I'm giving this lady a facelift. Oh, look, I just gave her a facelift. You see that? Actually, the wrinkles on this pumpkin are supposed to go down for the older pumpkin. But she's a lady. I gave her a facelift. Just with a flick of the wrist and the paintbrush, she gets a facelift. Just an automatic facelift. How about that? And then, of course, we're going to take that line down the cheek. Line down the cheek. Now this is from Grandpa Pumpkin. Now you see I took that from Hobie, Grandpa Pumpkin. Okay. And the lines around the eyes are also from Grandpa Pumpkin. Now, the other thing Hobie has, and I am going to do this, is he has these little dots. Just these little dots. Right down his chin. Just match them up. Hold on, the phone is ringing. Okay, I guess it was nobody on the phone or they were prank calling. So now that you see she has those little dots down her chin, just like Hobie. Just like Hobie. Try not to drop my paint palette. Just like Hobie. What I'm actually going to do is take some of the same colors that Hobie has in his face and add them to hers. Okay, and then when I'm done with that, we're going to go back to the smaller pumpkin as soon as I'm done with that part, right? And we have to figure out what colors do we want. Well, we're actually going to pick up that yellow ochre. Going to pick up that yellow ochre. Just when you go into it, just spin your brush around when you gotta do that. And what you want to do with that is when it comes down to certain lines, like I said, that that white's the undercoat. See why that white's the undercoat? Because that's going to help pick that right up. That is just going to help pick that right up. And show that to the world instead of blending it right back into that brick color. You see that? Right there. That's why I use the white as the base coat take that down there. And the reason I did not do the cheek or the chin first is because I didn't want to get the paint on my hand like I already have from doing some of the other painting. I mean, I don't really care if I get my hands dirty from painting. I gotta fix a part of her cheek now. My hand went dirt. Or maybe I'll just leave that there. Maybe that was a happy accident. Maybe it was. And then we'll just take that color, take it right in there. Just take it right in there. Sometimes you have to wet your brush again just to be able to pull those colors, because acrylics can sometimes be stubborn. They really can. Then they'll catch and bunch up in one area. I almost did the crossing of my feet thing like I used to do in my wheelchair. I had to correct myself here. That's why my palette was going wonky on my lap. I sometimes still sit like I did in my wheelchair. I have to correct myself sometimes. I'm so used to that. 5 years. 5 years in a chair. But you know what? My artwork was what helped keep me happy. Helped keep me happy. See that? See how that yellow just popped? Yellow is that little extra pop of color right there. And we're going to make sure that you keep that point on your brush. You definitely want that, because there will be other things when we go back in here, because we are going to pick up that bright orange color. Picking up that bright orange just on the tip of your brush. Just on the tip. You see that? Just on the tip of your brush. And it might get a little uncomfortable. I'll admit it, but you know what? I'm going to soldier through this because I have people to teach today. I have you, my viewers, to teach today. So I'm going to soldier on through this. Paint in her eyes. She has bright eyes. She's a bright-eyed person. She's a bright person. See that? Paint in her eye. She is a very bright person. Not everybody has blue eyes. My pumpkins have orange eyes. Why? Because they do. They're bright people. They are very bright people. They're not as frightening. They're just bright. They're just bright, bright people. It's kind of like animals. Animals are the other people. Yes, they are. Your pet, that's your other children. Don't ever think they're not. Pets are the other children. I used to have pets. They'd trust me. They were the other children. They behave a certain way only when they wanted something. They would get all snuggly to you and look at you a certain way. You'd be like, okay, what are you up to? And they're like, huh? What do you mean, what am I up to? Yeah, that's what that look is. That look is, what do you mean, what am I up to? Yeah, you knew when they were up to something. It's like your kid coming up to you and saying, Mom, I love you. And then you're like, what do you want? What do you mean, what do I want? Can't I just tell you I love you? What do you want? And you always want something when you say that. Yeah. They catch on. Okay, and then I'm going to take the orange color just right down the chin. Like I said, now you see why I use the white as the base coat. It really brings out the other colors. It really does. And don't think that we're done at that point, oh gosh, no. Because you see on Grandpa Pumpkin and Hobie, I use black as a contrast into this. Definitely, definitely. And that's why we have enough black to be able to do anything in here for other design. Like, let's see, like they simply happen to have, let me roll that because I need to roll that. Go back in, up a little more. And balance your finger. You don't want to go into some wet paint and screw it all up. Right at the mouth, but you really want to be careful. Make sure you're just getting it at a certain point. Crossing my feet again. Gosh darn it. Have to cross my feet the other way and keep that foot down. Keep that foot down. Take that paintbrush and just go along the crease line of her mouth. See that? That changed things. It changed things. And then you can just take that black paint. It's probably also the way I'm sitting. I'm going to sit this paint palette down here. That way it's a little bit more comfortable for me. I got to lean back for a moment. But I'm still going to show you this. And I can still look up here and reference from Grandpa Pumpkin and Hobie. What things do I want off of them? Hobie has the little dots going up his forehead all the way up. Okay, and now she has them, but they're not in the same color. They're not in the same color, and why? Because she's going to be a lot different than Grandpa Pumpkin and Hobie. And we definitely want to get the nostrils, because that's important. You want to know that they're breathing. Yeah. Then you can do a little design here. Just take the brush and just zip it up or down, whichever way you're more comfortable with. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. And there you go. See? Right there, right there. Do not be afraid. Just take it. There you go. And another thing you can do, because you have the little dots here, follow some along and just take that and go like that. Take that and follow it along. Go like that. Okay, because you know Grandpa Pumpkin has this like little cool spider web design on his forehead. She's going to have something different, similar but different. Hers is kind of going to be straight. Just straight and straight. That one may be a little angled, but pick up a little more paint because that was too wet. Straight across, and there we go. Little things can always be fixed along the way. Never be afraid of that. Little things can always be fixed along the way. You see? And then just take that along right there, and you have more contrast right along the stem. And I'm going to do some more detail on her, around her face with the black, and I'll show you when I come right back with that. Then we'll switch over to the smaller one. Okay, now that we're back, and yes, I actually had to switch camera angles. My doctor called me, the other phone rang. My doctor called me. Well, actually, my neurologist, which I was surprised, called me just to say he doesn't have any opening until late September or October. A seizure can kill you, people. A seizure can literally kill you. So he's like, take your other medicine, and instead of twice a day, now you have to take it 3 times a day to calm your seizures. Okay, but the other thing I'm doing here, which you guys could probably see, sorry bunny, I got you on pause, sorry, that's the other, she helps to calm me down. Please check her out, either on Banana Peppers, which is her other channel, or Graveyard Girl. She's one of the coolest. Okay, I'm going to show you, I've taken, this is the female one. You're like, wait, that looks like Grandpa Pumpkin. No, this is Grandpa Pumpkin. This is his sister. So this is Grandpa Pumpkin, and this is his sister. Their eyes are totally different. Totally different, but they're cool, aren't they? They are totally cool. Totally cool. Because you can see they don't have the same facial markings. Completely. She still has some sunshiny markings. But she is a lady. I have her paused right now because I want to finish my video. And now, because you can see I did give her some eyeballs. I have to let her pupils dry, and we're going to go back to, oh yes, and her stem I add a little extra color because that was starting to fade out. Hers I don't really have to worry about. So we're going to go back to our little pumpkin. Yes. The pumpkin back up here. And so for copyright issues, I'll put Bunny over here. Move my water in case my friend wants back through. So we're going to go back to this. And of course this brush. And you know what I'm going to do? And for her, I can just put her down. There's a cup holder in the armrest. So I'm going to add a little red to my palette. Just a little red. Come on. You know you want to come out. Which red did I grab here? Why is this all in other languages? Anyway, we grabbed red. We grabbed that really bright red. Now it looks like everything is in other languages, right? My doctor's office called too much today. It's the scarlet. We grabbed the scarlet. Oh my gosh. I can try to laugh things off today. Oh, goodness. Goodness. So, we can take that same orange that we put in Grandma's eyes, and we're going to put that in her eyes. Give her that little brightness. She's all dry now. If you made a little accident there, you can fix that, make it match. That'll dry while we're doing the rest. That will dry in her eye. Yes, it will. Just being a little goofy today. I have to after the stupid phone calls. We can't fit you in. There's no appointments. Bet you they would call and say I had an appointment if I died. Dummies. Dummies. Like, oh, we can fit her in now. Fit her in after she... Yeah, sorry about that. She died. She what? Yeah, fit her in properly. She died. Sometimes I wonder about these doctors. Or at least the hospitals themselves. Einstein. Or it's not necessarily full of smart people. I'm going to add a little bit of that red at the top. Give her some brightness at the top. See that? But no, we indigenous people are not red-skinned. That was Christopher Columbus's mistake when he was found lost at sea. Oh yeah, lost at sea, what a moron. Great history lesson for people though. Take that white back up. It's going to turn a little pink, and I don't mind that because that is a little girl. Now you see in some face paint for native tribes there is actually some red. We can take that yellow ochre, take that right in to the brow area, right into the brow area, okay? Take that yellow ochre, just pick that up, and there you go. Right into that brow area. Like I said, if the brush feels too wet in some spots, dry it off. Pick it up. Just pick up dry, paint on the brush. You don't have to have a wet brush necessarily. If you feel like it's too wet, just dry your brush. I keep forgetting I have my microphone on. Dry your brush, take it, and just go along there. And then we could take that same yellow ochre, just fill in the little floral area. Because we're going to take the black along that area too, just to give it the extra little bit of contrast. Do you see that? I had to sit different also because my back started to hurt me really bad. Yeah, my back started to hurt me really bad. I apologize if I sometimes have to angle my camera different because I have to sit a little different. Give her a little bit more shine on her little nose there. She was in that garden, having fun in the sunshine. Getting a little glow on her nose. Just a little glow on her nose. Like I said, she's not exactly going to have, match the others. She doesn't have to. She doesn't have to. She's her individual self. Now we're going to go into that black. Again, make sure that it's rolled on your brush. Roll it. Roll it. Roll in. Roll in. We can be a little silly today, right? You don't always have to be serious about everything. Life's too short to be serious all the time. Take the brush and go up. Make a little design right there. Just right there. Just right there. You don't feel that that's good enough. You don't feel that that's dark enough. Just take it up. Just right there. See, match it at that same line at the top of that flower. Match it at that same line. And the other flower, it doesn't have that same line. Why? Because pumpkins aren't always made that way. Pumpkins are not always made that way. And you do that on the opposite side. Take it until you meet up with the top of that flower. Just right there. Just right there. Just right there. Is she angry? No, she just has some really cool designs on her. She does. She has really cool designs on her. Maybe grandmother spider came and had a little talk with her, you know. Had a little talk with her. And gave her the knowledge of fishing and put some fish scales on her, you know. Told her, hey, you know, the boys go fishing, but girls can fish too. Give you some fish scales. It's your contrast. The boys aren't around, you can go catch your own food. Get lost, you'll know how to catch your own food and survive. Take that around and meet that up just at the other side. Try to keep your brush at a certain angle. And like I said, pick up a little paint. If you feel it's fading out, I feel that's fading out. And give her a little design on the side. Like I said, she's not going to be like the other pumpkins. She is herself. And we are going to contrast the front of her face, of course, as soon as I'm done with the side over here. Just like I've done here. Bringing that black in actually helps to pop out the color. You see, there's the plain side, there's the contrast. And you can plainly see how different that is from not being contrast to total contrast with that, with the colors in there. It makes such a difference. It really does. It makes such a difference to just take that in there and take that black paint and give it some contrast. Just give it some contrast. It makes your artwork just pop. And then just take that and try not to cover up all the white. Even though you can go back in and add some extra white to this, try not to cover it. Get your contrast going in there. So it looks like the shadow to it, and that's really what you want, getting that in there. See, look, that side's like that, contrasted, that side's contrasted. And then what I'm going to do, I gotta rinse my brush for a moment. Dry it up a bit, there we go. That black paint right back on there. Remember our scale line, 2, 1, 2, and then take it from right here. Yeah, let's see, right here at the tip of the flower. And then you're just going to take that scale around to here. Now they're going to look different because, like I said, those were not the same size. They definitely were not the same size. They're going to look a little bit different. But you know what? She's an individual. She did hers different. She did hers different, and that is why she is herself. You see that? That's why she's herself, and it still looks good. And then you can take an extra one if you want. Just take it on out. Do that on the other side. Take that on out. Try to make sure that what you do is you match up this line right here. Okay? And it's just like drawing a fish scale. That's what it's like. Drawing a fish scale. I have drawn and painted so many koi fish. So many koi fish. Maybe we'll have to do a koi fish one day. Maybe. Maybe that'll have to be a painting that we do one time. Very interesting to do on a black canvas. is do reverse painting of a koi fish with the white paint on a black canvas. Very beautiful because you can use pastel colors in with it. Just very beautiful to do, and you can add in your greens and just all sorts of textures and colors. Yeah, you just don't have to make your normal koi fish like everybody else does. Just be yourself. Be yourself. Let that art, let that artist in you just come on out. You can do it. Just take that around now, just around the outside of the cheek. For the contrast on the outside of the cheek, take like 2 hairs and a scare on the outside of the cheek. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to overlap that. Right there. Overlap that because I'm going to go right up here, bring that back down, and overlap that again. Just bring that down, and you see what that did right there? Look, just changes it up, pops that face a little bit more, and soon we'll be done with these pumpkins, and then I'll give you a view of all 4 of them when we're done with them. And while I'm at it, she needs her little nostrils right here, because the other 3 have theirs. We can't leave hers out. You up her nose, right? TMI. And then we also have to add the crease to her mouth while we're at it. The others have theirs, she needs hers. They all have to be happy and smiling because it's positivity. We positively have to make her as positive as her family members. There's no negative Nellies here. No negative Nellies. Not here, not here. See, now she's smiling more. See? You can do that. Get something like this if you can find them at like your local flea market or your local farmer's market. See if you can find these cute little pumpkins similar to these. I know you're not going to be able to find the same one unless you're around in the same local area as I am. And like I said, maybe, just maybe, the next time I can go back to Booth's Corners, maybe I could do a follow me around just to the ceramic shop. There's a lot of Amish people around there, so I can't really take the camera too much, just to respect them. Just to respect them. 1 year in Philadelphia, actually my first year in Philadelphia, Reading Terminal Market, there are Amish stores there. A man kept trying to take a picture of an Amish girl, and I know their rules. You're not supposed to take pictures of the Amish. That's against their ways. They believe that's capturing the soul. You're supposed to ask permission of the elders. So I stood in front of the girls and said, "Sir, stop it. You're not allowed. Not allowed to take a picture of them. And you don't have permission from their elders. You have to ask permission." He's like, "Get out of my way. I just want a picture." And I'm like, "No." He eventually got frustrated and left. One of the elders was in this store across from them. But they didn't know that I knew. They did not know that I knew their custom. Until then. They gave me extra fried onions with my turkey cheeseburger. Yeah, that was nice of them. They did really, they didn't expect a stranger to come up and defend them. But, you know, hey, people are who they are. People have their own customs. She never tried to change a person's customs. Unfortunately, that happened in America. Changing too many things. Changing too many things. And you know what? I think she's looking pretty cool, don't you? I actually think she's looking pretty cool. My shirt's bunching up on me. I actually have the cord to the microphone running under my shirt because the other end of the microphone, well, the earbuds, is actually plugged into my device, obviously, or you wouldn't be able to hear me. So I'm going to add one more scale, or you know what, maybe it's like a big flower around her face. She does. Maybe she has this big flower around her face instead of like fish scale. She just has a big flower. She's just so bright and sunshiny. Yeah, it is. Maybe it is like a big bright flower around her face, huh? Maybe she's like a big flower. But she's so cute. And I think, you know, I really don't think there's much more contrast we can do with her. I really don't. Other than, you know, maybe fill in a little spot here and there. And yeah, I think I'm pretty much happy with the way she turned out. And add a little spot of happiness in her eye here and here, and with her over here, because I can do this from a distance. Okay. Well, in a moment, I'll show you all of them together. All of them together. Happy pumpkin family. All of them together. Just give me a moment to do that. I'll be right back with that. Okay, now that we're back, I will show you our happy pumpkin family. This isn't wanting to give me the thing to flip the thing around, but you know what? I'll just turn the camera and show you. Give me a moment. And as you can see right there is our happy pumpkin family. All of them together. Yes, and a lot of my other artwork and my coffee machine. And like I said, they're all there together, trying to keep the camera the right way on them, because I am not used to this part yet. But as you can see, they are now a full set of traveling pumpkins. And I just have to let the two new ones dry completely. And they can also be used for a table setting and just for being around your house. So, in conclusion to today's video, I really hope that you enjoyed it. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. And as always, I want everybody to stay happy, stay healthy, stay positive, and as always, stay blessed. And if you haven't yet, please give it, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, give a thumbs up, and leave a comment below, a pleasant one, because that's the only ones I like, because I like pleasant people. Yes, but I really do like pleasant people. Later on, we'll see about the skeleton. There I go, calling skulls skeletons again. We'll try to get into doing the skull bracelet if my back will let me. So I will see everybody later. Bye. Love you all.